And we're live. Hello, hello, and welcome.
What's up? How you doing?
We have a special guest. We have Shelby in the house tonight. So please give her a warm welcome.
I also put her link in the chat. So if you're interested, go over and subscribe to her and check her out because she has a lot of cool videos. So hold on one second. This is my fault. I didn't press pause.
Boone, you want to welcome some people?
Yes. Hello. Welcome, Shelby. It's nice to meet you. I'm Boone.
Thank you.
Hey, Drops, Freedom, Camp Patton family, F&P Farms.
Boone is a garden master.
I'm a garden newbie. I'm a newbie. Last year was my first year gardening in my backyard, but I did 134 pounds plus for my first time, so I was pretty excited about that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
It's like I'm still that we do not have our gardens in the ground, and it's Florida, which means I probably have missed my ship for the spring crop, but we were concentrating on getting animals and stuff. So
yeah,
I wish I had some animals. I would love to have chickens, but where I live, you have to be a certain distance between each home, and I'm just smack dab too close to everyone, so we can't do it. But I've got my cat. I enjoy the neighborhood dogs.
Before we moved, we lived in the city, and we kept chickens illegally. But then our neighbors called on us, and I actually went to my son's pediatrician and told them that we couldn't eat store-bought eggs because they hurt our stomach, like my whole family. But our backyard eggs did not do that. And so she took out her prescription pad and she wrote us a prescription so that we could keep chickens in the city.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, now we're on our own property, but it's still fun. Like, I have that prescription and I want to frame it and like put it on the wall.
That's great.
Cool.
Okay, guys, tonight we have Shelby Sheene. Shelby Sheene has a homestead. She recently got ghosts. She has chickens. She's also a photographer. Check out her page. I put it at the link. It's like it's in the top, so you're gonna have to search for it. But it's in the top. She's in there. Subscribe to her channel because she is also a fellow homesteader as we are. And yeah, so definitely check her out. And if you have any questions for her, you can ask her questions tonight as well. So, what do you got planned, Keto Homestead with Jess?
Well, right now
she is also a fellow homesteader.
Sorry, I'm trying to open up another tab of YouTube so I can see the chat. So I just want to let everybody know that I have a migraine going on. That's why the crazy glasses are on. So it's not for no reason. And I just wanted to shout out to Ghost. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate your support. Ark, Wildman, this is his first time here. Thank you for showing up.
Who's this M99 in the chat? Keep saying good vibes. Thank Doc. Good vibes. I had him in my last chat. I remember the specific.
Hey, and
I don't know.
Okay.
Part of the prepping community. So thank you for coming in. I'm having quite a bit of preppers jump into this live, so that's awesome. Two Family Homestead just jumped in.
Woohoo!
Darren, did we say hi to him? Hello, Darren. Skinner Farms in here. Skinner Farms, welcome. Hey, from the UK. That's where M9's from. Awesome.
Okay.
I'm so sad I can't see any of these comments.
Are you on a computer or laptop?
No, I'm on my phone.
Yes. It's kind of hard. Even on the PC, I have a hard time. I got to open another tab and switch back and forth.
Oh.
And Courtney and Boone can see the comments way before I can. So that's why I have to open another tab.
I guess they can read them to me if anybody directs them at me.
Oh yeah, and I can put them on the screen too, so that you guys can see them if there's something specific to you.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't have a webcam, so phone is what's got to happen.
Yeah. So no, I don't have anything scripted or planned. You know how this is, fly by the night. Just hang out, chill with the girls, have some fun. Yep. Shelby, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know. How do you guys know each other? How long have you known each other?
How do we know each other, Jess?
YouTube.
Yeah. We just all click. I mean, we're goofy. We call each other on the phone. I don't call Boone on the phone near as much though, but we call each other on the phone. We chat. We're just, we clicked right away, and we all have something in common, and it's cool to have stuff in common too, So,
right.
Yeah,
like 712 chickens.
Yeah.
That might be.
I have a relationship with my chickens.
I was just going to say, Courtney's like so obsessed with her chickens. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, I love my chickens. So,
Jess, how did we meet? I can't really remember.
Honestly, I think I like stalked you because you were keto too.
I remember a live. I remember seeing you in a live, and that's all I remember. I don't even know whose live it was, but
yeah.
I have a few keto people that I follow, and then I saw Jess, and then I saw that she does animals and then the gardening, and I'm new to gardening. Like I said, last year, Shed Wars is what brought me into the gardening. But I really, anytime I can learn new stuff on keto, I really like to do that.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. It had to do with Shed Wars. And I think it was like when I first heard about Shed Wars and I didn't know anything about it. And I was kind of like just seeking out the community.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were like the girl that stuck out. You were like everywhere. And then when I clicked on your name and I seen you were doing keto stuff, I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I became your stalker.
I mean, it's got to feel good to hear that you stood out. So,
well, I'm kind of an airhead, okay? Like, I see Boone everywhere. She was in everything. She's like a mod for all these people, right? And you say hi, and you're like, you don't think about it. And I didn't really check her out. And then Jess is talking to her, and I'm like, oh. Like, I see her everywhere. Added her on Facebook, asked her, if she wants to do this. Jess is like, we got her on the show. I'm like, okay. So then it just turned into this conglomerate.
I'm like the Walmart greeter, and I'm pretty fast. Coming and going, I'm going to get you.
The Walmart greeter? Seriously?
Walmart greeter.
I feel like that should be like your next t-shirt or something.
Do you guys have those? Like, I don't know if you go to Walmart, but here, unfortunately, I have to go to Walmart all the time. And they have someone that they have this tablet, and they're punching numbers every time somebody comes in, every time somebody leaves. That's what I think of when I have the blue wrench. I'm like, hello, hello. And even if I'm not a moderator, because I do it so much, you're in that mode, and it's like, even if you don't know someone, you're just like, hello, hi, how are you? Doesn't matter who you are. It's like this need to say hello,
And that's like a really, really good description, Boone, because thinking about it, my Walmart greeters are like really aggressive. And you're very aggressive of saying hello to people.
Oh my God. Speaking of which, I'll never forget this. We were in a different Walmart in a different city. It was like maybe an hour or so from here. And we would only go there because my husband's mom is from that area. So we were getting stuff to go there on the way home. And there was a Walmart greeter. And as soon as we walked in, she goes, like, there was complete silence. I'm sorry, I'm trying hard not to laugh. There was complete silence. And she goes, welcome to Walmart. Just like that, too. It was just like that. That made my We looked at each other like, what? There was like nobody else around. Like it was just us. And she said it so loud.
I mean, you gotta love your job.
It's like we must have created some kind of impression because it's still to this day we say that between us. You know, it's like an inside joke between us. We always go, "Welcome to Walmart." But it's so funny. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back to normal. But it was so funny.
Courtney's so genuine. Like she laughs at the funniest things.
Well, when you do it so much too, like the best life was just talking about how it was bad for me because I'm greeting him so much. But the thing is, when you get these lives back to back, and sometimes I dual mod. I have one going here and one going here, and I'm literally both of them. I've got a piece in each ear, and I'm doing both. And you forget, you know, okay, did I just say hello to you, or you know, and it's this live or that live, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say hello, whether I said hello to you already or not. I can't help it. It's like, you know,
I say hello to people like multiple times in the chat.
That's funny, Boom, because I was just telling Courtney the other day, there was like 4 lives going on at the same time. So I had my computer going, and then I had my phone going. So I had like 4 tabs going on my computer and then 1 on my phone. And I had all the volume kind of like a little bit different so I could hear each one. But I was going back and forth through each of them chatting. Well, in one of the chat, they were talking about something specific. So I made a comment. I put it in the wrong chat. So I was like, oh, crap. I had to retract my message and go back to the other one. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I don't know how Boom does this.
Yeah, I've done that. I've almost done that with links because some hosts want the channel links posted, and I'll get ready to paste the link, and I'm like, wait, that's for this channel.
Oh, no. Dude, Steve, he is so freaking nice. Says, Boom, we don't care how many times you say hello because it lights up our day and refreshes our soul every time. He has a way of speaking.
Aww, that's so sweet.
When you enter a chat and he's like, good day, you know, Courtney, how is blah, blah, blah. He just has a way of like talking to you like he has known you for 20 years.
Yep.
Such a good person. Good people.
Darren's getting on him. You're like shouting out Bomber Steve, and Darren's telling him Bomber Steve sucks.
Sorry, Darren. I love you too.
Yeah, we all love you too, Darren.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, Shelby, Darren and Bomber Steve are from Australia. So they're part of like our homesteading, our homesteading group as well. Two Family Homestead, I don't know when you'll be on their show, but I'm super excited for you to do that because it will get your name out there, you know, and plus Two Family Homestead's super cool and they help you out. They'll help you out. They have Tech Tuesday and they help you out with computer issues and stuff like that. So it's a really good group to be in, to get to know everybody too. They're just really, it's really great. So I'm really excited for you to be on there. So.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you kind of like hooked that up because I obviously am not your typical homesteader. So it's been a little odd trying to find the circle of people, you know, and anytime I can expand the community and gain more knowledge through friends and stuff, like obviously I'm excited for that. So I really appreciate you like hooking the two of us up. Aww. I think it's really cool.
Plus Sherry's really fun to talk to. She's hilarious.
Yes.
She's so much fun.
Funny. Just in the chats that we've had. She seems like a little jokester.
Yeah, she is. And you're not old, Sherry.
No, you're
young and full of life.
But yeah, so I'm so glad that you're going to be on that show. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you become a photographer? How did you start getting into this?
So I have always had an artistic eye and a love for taking pictures in general.
I love the pictures. You guys, her pictures rock. They're so creative. I love that mermaid picture of you. freaking
Oh,
awesome.
cover photo. It's so
Yeah.
old. I need to like refresh.
Oh, it's beautiful though. It's so cool.
It gets really hard to change it when you have like a really good, you know, favorite or whatever. But
Yeah.
anyways, I had like little point and shoot cameras when I was a teenager, and I would just kind of like eat through them because they're cheap. And then I had my first baby, and I could not afford a professional photographer. So I was like, you know what? I love taking pictures. I'm going to teach myself and grow and do this myself. So really it just started with having a kid and realizing like, you know, I really wanted to capture every moment, you know,
Yeah.
and from there I found a way to like express my creativity and then help other people express it as well. So I just kind of like went with it.
Yeah. So cool. So cool. I mean, you're obviously a very creative person, but you also have the creative style as well. And I love that. I love that. You're so
Thank
cool.
you.
Shelby, how many kids do you have?
I have 4.
You have 4?
Yeah, I have 3 girls and a boy at the end.
I have 3 girls and a boy. My youngest is 7, and I have twins that are 15, and my son's 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How old are yours?
Yeah. We homeschool. The girls are 11, 9, and 7, and then the little boy is 2.
Nice.
Your girls and your son are just as creative as you are, though, too, aren't they? They have that, they got that from you.
I gave
Is
them
your husband just as creative, though? Is your husband as creative, or is just not? You're his.
He's actually a lot more mathematical minded. I mean, he sits and solves Rubik's cubes all day long, and every single time he does it, he like slams it down the table, like, "Look what I did." He's such a nerd. He really is like a computer nerd. He's a mechanic, you know. So he definitely just kind of like looks at me and rolls his eyes when I'm like, "Hey, I got an idea for a photo shoot." And he's like, "What are we doing now?"
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, so your kids are just I noticed that they're just as creative as you are. It's your daughter, right, that is mainly in most of your videos, right? She's your sidekick.
Oh yeah, my oldest, she's 11.
Yeah, she just gets in there and videotape. She does it all, doesn't she?
She is definitely my mini me, the most like me. I could have probably copy and pasted her, you know. But the others just, they flit too much. Like they love being involved, but they don't have the attention span yet to be like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and film a video, you know. Or they'll be filming like up their nose. No one wants to watch that. So
yeah. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. And I love the video of you and your daughter when you guys went and got the goats. And I just love that. You guys share this. I can already tell you guys share this special bond. That it's just really cool. And I like that she's involved in that. It's really important for her to do that, you know? And so I really like that. It's cool.
I mean, that's the whole reason that we want to be in this lifestyle, is to gift that to them, you know? So the fact that they want to be involved, like I try to encourage it as much as possible. Of course, the farm chores and filming and all of that would be so much easier if they weren't on my tail, but that's not the point, you know? The whole point is creating this life together with them and leaving them with something that they can be proud of.
Right.
So I love the fact that they're involved as much as they want to be. Yeah.
And having like all these memories, because now you have, it's like you're videotaping like these wonderful family moments, you know?
Right.
And
that's originally why we started vlogging anyway. Originally we didn't even have anything to do with the farm or homesteading. It was just a dream, you know, off in the future, never going to happen. We live in the city. But I just wanted to start vlogging our life because, again, like my whole photographer mindset is I didn't want to miss a moment. And I have horrible mom brain and I forget everything. And so I just wanted to
I'm just as guilty
as much as possible.
Yeah. I understand. I don't know why, but now that I have a son and stuff like that, I'm so busy. I forget stuff. I straight up forget stuff. Like it was worse when I was pregnant, but I mean, now it's just like even worse. It's
Her
even
brain
worse.
is real. Mom brain is real.
Yeah, it is. It's real.
Yeah.
And Shelby, I have a question for you. So far on your homestead, what is your favorite thing or your favorite animal, whichever?
It's obviously the goats.
Yeah.
I had a goat when I was a teenager, and his name was Melvin. And if you guys have goats, you know that you cannot keep a lone buck who is not castrated by himself, no other goat friends. And he started getting a little ornery with me, and my mom was scared because he wasn't like disbudded or anything. So she actually made me adopt him out, and I was scarred. So I swore that like as soon as I had property, goats were what I was getting. And I mean, I'm obsessed with every single one we bring home. We have 3 now. We have 2 Nubians, and we just brought home a Nigerian little buckling, and we have a mate. We're on a waiting list for his betrothed. So we are so in love with them. I go out there and I sit in the bar, and usually I'll hear my husband call for me, like, you know, where's your mom? And I'll be like, duh, I'm in the goat barn. Just sitting here talking to them.
I think my very first experience with animals is I was like, I don't even know how old I was. I was in 5th grade. So what, like 11, 12, something like that. And I don't know if you all had like science class then where they put chickens in the incubator and you hatched it out in class. Well, the teacher was like, anybody that wants to take these home, get a note from your parents saying you could do that. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I talked to my stepdad, and he's like, yeah, you can bring them home. And so I was so excited. I love these chickens. And like one by one, the chickens kept like, they were just babies. They just kept disappearing. I'm like, where are they going? And then like months later, my stepdad's like, yeah, well, he raised red-tailed boas and some snakes. And months later, he's like, yeah, I fed your chickens to the snakes. They were hungry. And I was like mortified. And I'm like, when I'm older, I'm gonna have my own chickens, and nobody's going to kill them or let them be eaten by snakes. I was so mad.
Yeah. So we did that in high school with the chickens, but I didn't get to bring them home. But actually, I remember as a kid, what is that movie where she hatches the geese, like Fly Away Home or something like that?
Yeah.
So we had
Canada to somewhere. Yeah.
We had like a retention pond in our backyard, and I would spend all day out there, like just catching bugs and frogs and whatever, total tomboy. And I found a mallard egg that they had like practice laid, but she wasn't ready to make a nest. And it was half in the water, half out. And so I was like, no way this thing is going to live or fertilize or anything like that. Like she didn't put it in the nest. And I remember bringing it home and putting it in my drawer, like putting my clothes around it and getting like a shop light and hanging it, total fire hazard. But I hatched that duck, and I think it gave me like this sense of accomplishment. Like I literally helped that life happen. I mean, obviously I did it, but like I helped. And so now like I hatch way too many birds because I'm just obsessed with that process. Like watching them develop like is so amazing to me. And so I always find it funny in like the hatching groups and stuff where everyone's like super like particular about their incubators and hatching, and like I'm just like, guys, I did it in my clothing drawer. Like
That's pretty cool.
This was the first year like that. Well, last year was the first year that we our Polish hen sat on duck eggs. So I never had that experience when I was younger. Like we never did anything like that in science class. And so it was really cool for me. Like we went out there and we candled the eggs, and I thought it was so cool to actually see like their heartbeat and stuff in there. Like I thought that was so cool.
Super amazing.
Yeah.
We actually hatched some duck eggs with an Easter egger one time. I feel like my chickens don't go broody a lot, but when one of them did, I was like, I'm going to order some duck eggs. And she did. She sat on them and they hatched.
Yeah, I'm surprised because Polish don't go broody very often, if not at all. Like, that's not their thing. But we have this chicken that we've had for a while. Her name is Graybeard. And she was just wanting to be a mom. So we just put 3 duck eggs in her. We weren't expecting her to hatch them, and she did. And
That's
it was a really cool experience. Super
Did
cool.
she raise them too, or did you bring them inside?
No, once they hatched, we brought them inside because I have like close to 60 chickens and I have 5 roosters. I don't really want I didn't want them to get hurt. And then their nesting boxes where she was sitting was high up off the ground. I was like, ooh, if one of them jumped down or something, they could get hurt. So we picked them up and put them in our brooder. But
a lot of ducks will nest in trees. And when they're ready, they jump out of the hole in the tree all the way down to the ground.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah. I didn't know that, but
I didn't know that. Cool. Y'all's science classes were fun. We didn't get to see anything hatching unless you count the butterfly. You know, we saw butterflies come out, you know, but we did the dissecting of frogs and pigs. That's not fun. I would have rather seen something like that hatch. That would have been very cool, but our schools didn't do that for us. So that's really awesome that they do it in some places.
I was shocked. Like when I was in like grade school, they did some weird stuff for science class. I remember them bringing in like hog hearts for us to like play with or whatever. But you remember those little like pixie straws? They all like gave us pixie straws, and they're like, I don't even remember. It was a demonstration, and they were like, you can blow in the straw and make the heart blow up, and it'll, you know, expand. And we were sitting around blowing on them straws, making them hearts blow up, thinking it was cool as heck. Years later, I'm like, man, that was nasty. What if someone like accidentally inhaled on accident and went in? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we had fun days, but you know, that's kind of crazy.
We never did anything like that in high school. Like maybe what's that class called? Mass something or whatever, and they dissected cats.
Ooh.
Yeah. They would get them from like the, you know, or whatever. That was always a big thing. But I was never in the class. I never took it because of that reason. So I didn't have that issue. I can't handle stuff like that. And it's just been recently that I can handle like my birds dying. Like I had a couple
cabin in the woods,
and I could like actually handle that and take care of it.
Did you not raise any meat yourself?
Yeah, actually this last year we raised turkeys. And by the way, it's really hard to raise turkeys because I grow really attached to them. They are so friendly, and I love male turkeys. Love them. I love their personalities. I just love it. And we dispatched them. We had 10. We did it. And the Tom was really heavy. He was like 35 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm on a waiting list. Our local feed store is about to get turkeys in, and I'm so excited because
are you just getting like the regular what do they call market turkeys?
No, I'm getting the Royal Palm.
Ooh.
I'm getting some bourbon reds and some slate blues.
Yes.
Ooh. Those are heritage. Those are really nice.
I just like the cool stuff. Like obviously.
Yeah, even the market ones, like the market ones I think are still cool, even though they're kind of ugly. You know, I still think they had such a cool personality. And the Tom, man, he was always fluffed out, and his head was always blue and weird looking. And he had this really, they call it a snood, and it like hangs down. It's like a big hangy ball thing. And it hangs all the way down, you know. It's like he was the king of the yard, you know.
I have a thing for ugly animals anyway. I have a hairless cat, and everybody knocks on me for it, but I just think he's like so ugly. He's beautiful.
You're gonna have some beautiful birds because the heritage breeds are absolutely gorgeous. So
no, I love them. So I'm really excited about it. We're gonna have to build ourselves an aviary and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool. You're going to really love the turkeys because they would follow my husband, all 10 of them. They would follow my husband like a dog. They'd walk around the whole yard and stuff. Yeah.
That'll
they got
be awesome.
personality for sure.
I love the blue slates. Those are my favorite, but they're so hard to come by, it seems like. But
I was really surprised to see that they had them, but it's just like a family-run feed store instead of a chain, you know. So I was surprised to see all 3 of those breeds, and I was like, I'm not passing any of those up. So
yeah, my blue slate, my hen, she like would watch. She's real friendly too, and she would let you pick her up and hold her and stuff. But she passed away not too long ago, a few months ago. But she had a really good life. She lived until she was like 15, 16 years old.
Wow,
was that?
Live that long?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It was.
I mean, it's to keep like the ones we buy as our like breeders and keep them as the pets. This is kind of like our system. We keep the breeders as our pets, and then all the babies are what becomes our family meal or income by selling. You know,
that's exactly the way I run my homestead.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good way to do it though.
That way the kids can be attached to something.
Yeah.
Those palms and stuff like that, they're kind of hard to find. And like we have a hatchery that's like an hour from here, but like you can go and pick up chickens, but like as far as ducks and heritage breeds and stuff like that, you have to get those through the mail, and I refuse to get animals right now through the mail. So so if you can breed those animals, if you can breed, people are gonna flock to them because they're really hard to get. So
that's what I'm hoping. We've literally traveled all over for what we're doing. So like we drove 5 hours collective to go get Welsh Harlequin ducks. We found like very, very few people have them in Florida. Yeah. And so for us, it was worth it to go get them. So we got 4 Welsh Harlequins. They're in the brooder right now. And we are like super excited about that because they are gorgeous. And we did do like a pre-order Cayuga ducks. We did have Cayuga ducks when we lived in the city, but we had to rehome them all because they were way louder than expected. And the neighbor was not happy about it. So I missed them ever since. So as soon as we could, I pre-ordered eggs. So I'm excited for those.
Cool.
Shelby, do you have rabbits?
Oh, go ahead.
I have rabbits. Yeah, we have some like mutt mixes. They're basically like Californian, Checker Giant, and Lionhead mixes. And it was kind of like, I don't want to say accidental because we do breed on purpose. But someone contacted us and said, hey, we're looking to get rid of these rabbits. They're free. Do you want them? You can have a hutch with it. And I was like, well, why not? Let's get into meat rabbits. And so the guy who delivered them actually showed us how to process from beginning to end, hands-on in our backyard. And I thought that was so valuable because after that, I have taken care of all of the meat rabbits myself. And now we actually just got 2 breeding pairs of Rex rabbits because we want to be able to use the fur as well, just so we're using like every bit of the animal as we can.
Hey Shelby, your microphone, I don't know, it's not right. Are you using a microphone right now, or are you using your phone?
It's just whatever's on my phone.
Oh, okay. Because right now that sounded better, but before you were sounding really weird. I don't know.
I think it might be the signal because you were kind of echoing earlier. So I think.
Oh, okay.
Maybe something's going on.
Yeah, I had a weird thing going on with YouTube tonight. Anyway, like really weird with the links and stuff with StreamYard. They weren't like matching up. So I don't know what's going on. Huh?
Is it better now though?
Yes. Yeah.
Last week, my internet was a mess. It just kept on dropping me. I don't know what it was doing.
I hate when it does that. I feel so bad.
Yeah, and it's like really nothing we can do about it. Like once it's the internet, what are we going to do about it? You know?
Right.
So now it takes me like overnight to upload a YouTube video. I just hit publish and go to bed because nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, Boone?
Me?
Yeah. You got started, girl.
I have been trying to get I have a mini greenhouse and I'm really new with it. I don't know anything about, so I have a heater in there. Doesn't really work all that great. You're supposed to be able to control the temperature, have a remote. It doesn't work that well, but I have figured out how and when to turn it on. It has a 24-hour cycle. It's about 52 degrees in the greenhouse right now. So before I go to bed, check the temperature in there. If the temperature outside is going to drop, I will turn the heater on a very low because it has an automatic default. It will shut off if it reaches 78. But I think that I've been playing with it enough in the last 4 or 5 days that I'm ready to put the rest of my seedlings in there. I have 34 tomato seeds in there that I have right now and 8 potato grow bags. Tonight I picked up the Jiffy. They have 72 holes, I think, in them or whatever. They're the trays that have 72 spots. I don't know what they're called. So I picked up 3 of those. So I meant to get those ready today. I ran out of time. So tomorrow that is my plan. And I'm going to just put the seedlings in there and hope for the best. We do have a longer growing season here. I'm in zone 7B. So if the seedlings don't do well, I can still direct sow into my beds. Although I am new, I have I did a lot of direct sow last year, so I did well with that. The seedlings, I just hope last summer wasn't like a beginner's luck kind of thing. I have so many different things that I'm planting, and everything that I grow, I share with my sister. And I don't know, that's my plan, Courtney, for tomorrow and the next day is just to get those seeds ready. I'm so anxious, and I've been holding off because I don't really have room in the house. I do have a table that I could put out, but the lighting really isn't right in my day room. So if I put them out there, I don't know if they would do well or not. But that's what I'm doing, and I hope that I do it right. We'll see what happens, but I'm pretty excited. Right now, my counter is, I've got this wicker box. It's got all my seeds alphabetized in order, and then I have another stack.
Way more organized than me. Right now, I don't even show my table. It's like seed central. It's going to be like what produce is going to look like at the end of August. It's just like I don't even know what to do with half of it, and then I just order. I don't know why I did it. Just order from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I have all these seeds, and I ordered more seeds. It's an addiction.
I bought more today when I was at the store. I couldn't help it. And I picked up flowers too. And then my daughter, she loves being out in the garden and doing stuff with me. So she picked out things that she wanted. And, she will help me out there as much as she can. If she had her way, Shelby, she would be in like every video. She loves the camera. But we have all those copolas. I do let her be in some of them, but I limit it. But she goes crazy. She could go crazy in the seed section. She would just like a candy store. Really, it's like a candy store.
Seed package. Just.
So I'm gonna try my best, though. I really am.
Shelby, are you a seed hoarder too?
Yes.
Aw, you do belong with us.
See? You can see the boxes they're in. It's pretty bad. And at the beginning of fall last year, I actually took an inventory because there were so many seeds. I'm like, y'all, this is insane. So I am not an organized person. I'm just not, okay? I'm the creative. I'm not organized. But I was so overwhelmed with how many seeds I have. I literally took out a notebook and I sat at my table for like 4 hours and repackaged all my seeds, relabeled them, and then made a notebook with alphabetical, like all my seeds, and then took little notes like direct sow in February, or, start inside 6 weeks before the frost or whatever. So I could just look through my notebook and see like what I have left and when I need to get it done. And so then I took all those and I divided them for seasonal, so I can just look through each season and know like, oh, okay, this is what I'm planting. But who knows if I'll actually follow it. I usually just throw stuff in the ground and see what comes up.
Yeah.
That has been my way of planning for like 10 years.
So it works.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, Camels and Bows Homestead is in here. Hello. Haven't seen you in a while. She does.
Homestead Aquarius. Hello.
Hello. Homestead Aquarius. Hello. Hello, prepper nerd. Hello.
Have you guys had luck with strawberries?
I don't know. This is going to be my first year. Well, no, not my first year. Second year. You know those white alpine ones that you see, or pineapple, whatever they're supposed to be? I was going to grow those. I got them from Burgess because you get that catalog. And I was going to, okay, this is going to be a funny ass story. Okay. I can't help it. This is going to be hilarious, right? So my uncle's like 80 and he mows my mom's yard. Like he keeps it immaculate. It's like the best yard you've ever seen, right? And he mows it like twice a week. And so he came down, and my mom's backyard, it's like buttoned next to a swamp, so it's like really mushy and whatever. And so my mom had a pool back there. And then she had one of those things that Jess and Jeremiah have, those big stacks where you could put like vegetables or whatever in. So that's where we planted our strawberries. And my mom was taking care of it or whatever. So my uncle comes along in his mower, slides, hits the pool, knocks out the strawberries. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, how did you end up? The whole site, my mom was getting rid of the pool anyway because she couldn't take care of it anymore. So it didn't rid of it now. But he totally wiped out the side of the pool.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord. He'll never live that down. Never.
And see, I have strawberries, and they say that you're supposed to rip them out every 3 years and replant. And I've had my strawberries in the ground for like 10 years, and they just keep on growing. And they keep yeah, like I've never pulled them or anything. And
our strawberries never did anything, though. I never got to taste those pineapple ones. I really wanted to.
I just have the regular red. I don't know what they call them. Just regular strawberries. Yeah.
I haven't taken any strawberries out of pot yet, but I kind of want to do like a food forest setup to where I plant them in my orchard, and we have like stories, like an understory. So we'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. Do you follow any food permaculture or food forest?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could name them all for you.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just wondering.
There's definitely some channels that I learned a ton from as far as food forest goes, and like basically having this like closed system where your homestead provides for itself sort of deal. And that's the goal, is like using your chickens to fertilize your bed, and then your bed goes back to your chickens when your crop is over, and just like keeping it in this circle.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of food forest, like permaculture stuff too. And my space, like I have 5 acres, and like I have about an acre and a half of just vegetable gardening. And then next to that, I have another ½ acre of nothing but berries and fruit trees and stuff. And once I started watching these food forest videos, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. But every time I try to do it or like plan it out, there's just so much space there. I'm like, how do I incorporate it all like that?
Yeah. Section it out and just start with a section a year and just start going from section to section. I know like when we moved to this property, it was such a huge blessing because they already had an orchard going. So cool. Trees, but they're fruiting ages, and so like we've got tons of blooms right now, but it's your typical orchard style. It's where they're just planted in rows and it's very straight and like streamlined. I was like, man, I just really want to break this up and like bring some understory in here and like really make it less like stagnant and like structured feeling. But you know, it's going to take a while to develop that kind of system. Like it's going to take several years.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's kind of like overwhelming.
Yeah.
We have so many fruit trees here as well, but the previous owners didn't take care of them, so they're like all over the place. And so I think this year I'm going to work really hard at trying to get them to produce, trying to get them healthier. I bought some comfrey seeds, so I'm going to try and do like some comfrey underneath them, try and get some more like fertilizer going. I might even do that drops. Have you ever heard of that, where you like, it's a program where you can get free wood chips?
Chip drop. Yep, we did it.
Yeah. I'm going to try. Was their wood chips good? Were they okay?
So, I think the wood chips were amazing and like really fresh and everything. Actually, some of it, mycelium, is that the right word? The little like life fungus that's beneficial, was already in some of it. And then there was like fresh wood chips on top. My only issue is that you don't know exactly what you're going to get because it's free. And you can get a lot of seeds of different weeds that you don't want in your garden. And so you have to be really careful. So like we actually introduced this weird thorny weed that was like all over my garden. And I firmly believe it's from those wood chips. However, if you're going to do it in like animal pens and stuff, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So
I kind of had this idea for a food forest kind of thing. I was going to do the wood chips in that area. My husband hates mowing around those trees because they're so close together.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and the only problem is I just don't want it to look ugly because it's parallel with the neighbor's yard because it's like on the front side of our house. So I just kind of want to plant my comfrey. I purchased, this is really funny because I love onions. And so I purchased these wild ramps from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. So maybe I want to like get those started and put those over there too, you know, kind of like.
Yeah. What if you did like cute little bordered beds under them?
Yeah.
Like maybe with some stone and then mulch in that. And then, you know, have your soil underneath your mulch first.
Yeah.
And then plant. So it's still like designed, but still you like the back to Eden mulching system, but like contained in something that's aesthetic.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. Yeah. We're thinking about it. It's going to require time and money and stuff like that. But I just want them to produce because we've been getting these apples. And then the one year we had a pear that was like this big. It's just like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, but I don't want to kill them off because they're good, substantial trees by now. I mean, the previous owners planted them and they're like 7 years old. So they're, they're, you know, good trees.
Unless you're going to drop tons of money in grafted trees, you don't want to start over.
Yeah. Yep.
We don't have any fruit trees around here. My neighbor just put in a fig tree, so I'm very excited for them.
I love figs. We have
my neighbors, when they saw me and when I started doing the gardening thing, we have like 20 raised beds right now, and we're putting in 23 more new ones. But my neighbors, they got motivated when they saw me planting and growing, so they went and got a raised bed. And they started planting things, and then they got a fig tree. And I had these cucumbers, and I had them in pots with the tomato cage on them, but it was close enough to the fence, so I figured they would grow up the tomato cage onto the fence. And they ended up growing over into my neighbor's yard. And I told them, I'm like, whatever goes over there, knock yourself out, you know? And it was really great. They ended up planting cucumbers, zucchinis, and tomatoes just like I did. And it was pretty awesome for them to actually say, you motivated me, so we're growing too.
That sounds like the gardening bug. It's like that phenomenon where you see other people doing it and you want to do it.
Yeah, and when something was going wrong, or if there's like an insect we would talk about it because it was new to me, new to them. And we kind of had the same things going on toward the end of the season. So we were just kind of comparing notes, and it was actually a lot of fun for me and fun for them. And we were all learning. So
that's so cool that they share that with you. Like, that's cool. Cause you know, in some of the homesteading groups and stuff, you'll hear, I grew this, my neighbor cut it down. Like, what's wrong with people?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I absolutely love my neighbors, and they are much younger than me, and they listen to the same music that I grew up on. So they've got their music going when they work out. It's awesome. They got the music playing all the time, and it's just. And my little one, she's very, very social. So as soon as she hears the music, she's got to go outside and say hi to our neighbors, you know, and they're very cool with her. I mean, she's like her father. She's really got the gift of gab. Me, I got to warm up a little bit. I'm kind of shy compared to him, but she's like, and they'll go back and forth. You know, I have to kind of pull her away so they can finish their workout routine. It's kind of funny. But yeah, having great neighbors is awesome. And my neighbors on this side, they just moved in, and they're pretty awesome too. They come over and visit once in a while. I don't know them quite as well as the other side, but still, having nice neighbors, it really helps, you know, in your community. Mm-hmm.
Are they pretty close? Are your neighbors pretty close to your house, Boone?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I have Mennonite neighbors on my one side, and then my mom's on the other.
Oh,
it does help to have nice neighbors.
Yep.
My mom.
Is your mom a nice neighbor, Courtney?
Huh?
Is your mother a nice neighbor?
Yeah, sometimes. She'll come over. Why didn't you weed whack around the fence? You didn't weed whack around the fence. It looks trashy. When did you get that triangle thing out of your backyard? You know, the triangle thing is our chicken coop, you know, was our chicken coop. Get that triangle looking thing out of your backyard. It looks like crap.
Shelby, do you have neighbors? Like, how much land are you on?
We're on 2 1/4. We do have neighbors that are super close on our right. And then we have an empty lot before the next set of neighbors. So like we can see them, but it's like pretty heavily wooded. So they kind of just stick to themselves. And although we can see our right-hand neighbor, like, I mean, his house is pretty close to our fence, and we have just like cattle panel type fencing. He's super nice and super like reclusive. He's just like an old country man, and you know, he's got hunting dogs in the back, and the only time we ever see him is when he goes and feeds his dog. But the one time we talked to him, he was like such a sweetheart, and I was like, well, at least we got like a good, nice, like good old country boy neighbor. But eventually we do plan on kind of like building some solid fences down both sides, just because I'm a more private person, and especially like if we're going to be YouTubing and stuff like that, I just kind of want the yard to be a little bit more secure.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I only have one neighbor. I'm on 5 acres. So I only have like a neighbor on the left side of me, and he's a grouchy old man. My husband gets in fights with him all the time. But it's nice because that's our only neighbor. And then like we have a creek, whatever you want to call it, that runs around my property, the back side of it. So that like separates the people on the other side. So I guess we have neighbors behind us, but there's such a big space between us. So we only have to deal with the grumpy old man.
So across the street from my house, on one corner there's a church, but right directly as you come out of the front porch, you're looking at apartments, and they go all the way down the block one way and then the other way. And there's a lot of them. And then they go on the other side. You've got the main road. They go on and on. A couple years, before the COVID started, they were supposed to start demolition, and the COVID, it put it on hold. Well, they've started. So you see piles of rubble right now in front of my house. And I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I thought there was going to be like dust and everything and the cars covered, but it's not so bad. They've got everything blocked off for safety. And I was showing my youngest one, what it looks like. I mean, I hate seeing buildings, torn down like that, but I can see why they're doing it. They're very old, so they're putting up brand new ones. But at the same time, all these people, they had to find new homes, and then the things that they're putting in their place, they're going to be expensive because the hospitals own all the land, and they're putting condos of some sort. But it is kind of neat to see because like half of like an apartment building is gone, but you see the second half. So my daughter was like very fascinated at, what it looks like being demolished, but that's my view from my front house right now. And once they start building, I don't know how fast they're going to go up, but I'm very anxious to see what's going to be there. But we're in a very good neighborhood. We haven't had any issues. I'm like smack dab in Winston-Salem. It's very much city. But it's been a good place, and we do have great neighbors, but the view is kind of weird right now.
I'm planting some big old trees.
And that's the thing, like I have 5 acres, but the area that we grow in, it's pretty close to the road, and the road sits higher up and the garden sits down here. Excuse me. So like when people drive down the road, they turn my dirt road into a state route. So now like you'll hear in the videos like huge semi trucks going by and crazy stuff, but they can all see me. They're all looking down at me when I'm in the garden, and it drives me crazy. So like our big, I don't know what it's called. We always call it like bamboo bushes, but that's not really what it is. But they're like big, huge, like grass that we plant all along. We've been working on it for years. We have like 6 of them, and we take starts from it, and we just keep lining it every year. And hopefully we'll have a wall of grass, this huge, tall grass that will block them from seeing me. Because I need it. Because when I'm in the garden,
I would be reclusive and block everyone out.
Yeah. And it's hard because like in the summers in Ohio, it does get like super, super hot. I have back issues. So literally I'm usually in the garden. We plant in the ground. So I'm usually in the garden on my hands and knees as people are just like honking and waving at me. And I'm like, oh, it's so creepy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a private person too.
Right.
Watch your mouth, Darren.
I mean, in midsummer, we're gardening in our bathing suits because it's so hot. So I definitely don't want some.
Right. And that's like my husband will come out to the garden, and I try not to wear my bikini out there or anything, but sometimes things just like shorts crawl up, shirts fall down, I'm like, oh, like, I don't mean to or anything, but it happens.
I'm not trying to look hot when I garden.
I'm out in whatever makes me comfortable, and usually I wear this really big old hat. I look like an old lady, I'm sure, but
I have a big old
tail,
hat too.
I usually have one of these or a hat, and I'm like a hot, sweaty mess. I usually t-shirts or sometimes a tank top. But at the end of the day, ready for the shower,
Yes.
Hot, sticky mess.
we don't have air conditioning, so nice cold shower works every time.
That's the great thing about having a crick, because like most of the time after the garden and those hot days, I'm right in the crick.
Yep.
That's amazing. We really wanted water going through our property, and we ended up with some like weird ground-fed springs towards the back, but they don't really have nowhere to go, and we're just kind of like wondering if we can like maybe dig them out and give them a little channel to move, but it is kind of like sloshy back there. I was like, well, maybe we can like make it a pond and ducks back there or something. Why are you
That would
laughing?
be awesome.
I'm laughing at my husband's response. He said, "Wow, Jess, that would get some subs from what I heard."
Oh,
I ain't trying to get subs like that. Thanks,
Come
though.
on, you know you want to be out there like that.
No, I'm good. I'm a modest person. No. But yeah, you could dig out those springs. I also have a spring that's dug out, and it's my husband's parents have had this property since they were 16 and 17, and we inherited it. Yeah, when they passed away. So that's where all their water comes from, is a spring. And every so often we have to dig it out and clean it out and stuff, but it's really doable.
yeah.
I told Jess for new subscribers, I was going to dress as a lobster and go out there and guard. I was going to do that. So I need to start amping up the game.
You need to get your Instagram
Nobody
going
wants
for
to-
that.
Nobody wants to see me in a bikini, so I'll go out there in a lobster outfit and garden. That'll get subs, right?
Well, I can't say that I haven't gone out in the garden in the bathing suit. Well, my bathing suit looks like a dress, but our pool, we put up a pool for the kids, so it's like right next to the garden. So I'll go in the pool with my daughter for a little bit, but then I've had enough, and I'll go in the garden and do something really quick. But I don't spend a lot of time in a bathing suit in there. I don't like to do that. But if I happen to be swimming, and I might go in there and do something real quick. You know?
Yeah. Now, I have a question for the panel. Do you garden barefoot?
Do you know my homestead name?
Courtney?
I wear Crocs. Well, okay. I have plantar fasciitis
Okay.
in my left foot, and if I go barefoot, my foot kills me. And I wear Crocs, but it's almost like I am barefoot because most of the time, like by the time I get back, my feet are like black from being in the garden. So
It finds you.
Huh?
I said it finds you.
Yeah.
Dirt.
It does.
And Boone?
I cannot stand going barefoot. I always have a pair of shoes, boots, flip-flops, Crocs. There's always something on my feet, even in my house. I can't stand being on my bare feet.
See, and I'm opposite. I cannot stand wearing shoes. And the minute I have a chance to kick those shoes off, I am barefoot from spring to fall, like constantly barefoot. I get yelled at. I crawl into my hog pen barefoot. I get yelled at constantly. But the reason I brought that up is because the Australians that I talk to that are gardeners, I had mentioned that in one of the chats that I am in the garden constantly barefoot. And they're like, oh no, here you have to have a complete jeans on and boots and everything with all the snakes. And I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Can you imagine being in the garden working, being that hot, having boots and jeans on all day?
No, and I live in Florida, so there's not as many as Australia, but there's tons of things in your garden that wants to kill you. I mean, not too long ago, we had a coral snake up on our porch, rattlesnakes, scorpions, spiders, like you name it. We've got tons of poisonous stuff here. But it's hard to catch me outside with shoes unless I'm going to goat pasture, because I horribly discovered that we have stinging nettle in our goat pasture.
Oh, yeah.
So that sucks. But in case anybody didn't know, as I just popped off earlier, my homestead name is Barefoot Harvest. So that's why I was joking when she asked.
Yeah. And I didn't know that you had that page as well. So like when you sent that to me, I was like kind of stalking, but I had the migraine going on. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to look at it later. But yeah, I love that page too.
Thank you. Yeah, I just try to keep like the majority of like, you know, egg pictures and like produce pictures and stuff. Like that's completely separate from my main feed, especially because I do a lot of work on there for different companies.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it as separate as possible, but also keep it very real life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband said he'll go out there in his banana hammock, and you know what I really need to do is I need to do. Shelby, could you help me take some photographs of my husband in his banana hammock in the chicken coop?
Nobody wants to see that, Courtney.
Huh?
I mean, I'll do it.
I said nobody wants to see all that, Courtney.
I don't think so either.
Go viral.
Oh, yeah, I could just hear him. He's in the living room just cracking up.
Bomber Steve says the same thing. No one wants to see that.
Make sure it's a warm day. No, we don't have warm days here in Ohio.
It's okay. We can just Photoshop whatever's necessary.
He says I'm very photogenic. I want to. He needs to do a picture with his hands on his hips.
Like one laying down.
Look at me. Like with like looking off into the distance, like my naked camo guy. Like that, just like this hair blown in the wind and like. But unfortunately, my husband's gonna have a tan line. The naked camo guy, he didn't have a tan line, so you know he was doing that.
You know he does it often then.
There's no tan line, so he's out there a lot naked. No.
So you got to tell Shelby about the story behind the camel and your spirit animal and stuff, so she understands.
Yeah, it's been a long time joke between all of us and our chat group here, but yeah, I really like camels. I think they're super cool. And it was like, yeah, if I'm, ever there, I think they're like my spirit animal, because they're super cool and I like them and whatever. So then I came across, I was on Facebook and there was this guy that came across as people you may know, and he was riding naked on a 2-hump camel. No joke. Like it was one of his animals. Well, I looked him up. He does have a Facebook page. He's the llama guy or something like that from Wales. I don't know. I can't remember his specific page. But anyway, he was his Facebook main picture was him naked on a 2-hump camel, and he has this really long hair, and his hair was like flowing in the wind and stuff. It was like freaking hilarious. Hilarious.
So now that's your screensaver?
I did have it as I put it on there for a minute, and I was like, oh, I'll take that down. So yeah, it was pretty funny. Like,
You're getting too excited.
I know this is my spirit animal, but I'm never doing that. Like, you won't see me do that. Good. But yeah,
what would be your spirit animal?
Mine? Oh, I don't know. Maybe like a black jaguar.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
They're like showy, but also dark and moody. I don't know. I think way too much. Like I don't have a favorite color because I overanalyze the way I feel about each one, and so I don't have a favorite animal either. But if I had to pick, it's probably that one.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, I picked the white tiger. Have you seen those like majestic pictures in the wintertime of the white tiger? They're kind of pictures like you have, but it's with a white tiger in like the winter, and the woman has like a cape over her head. Have you seen those?
No.
They're like really awesome. And then she does a photo shoot with like an actual bear. And they're just like, yeah, they're like really majestic, just awesome pictures. But that white tiger was amazing. I'm like, I want pictures like that.
Bomber Steve said his spirit animal is a wombat. Okay.
I thought your spirit animal was a snake, Bomber Steve.
Exactly.
Put it up on us.
A wombat?
Elephant.
Yeah,
I know we had this conversation before, but I was like, with the koala bear, because they have like some kind of STD. I was like, don't pick that as your spirit animal. That's just all wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, my husband said, "Excuse me, ma'am, would that be 1 hump or 2?"
Whatever floats Courtney's boat.
Oh, funny stuff, really.
Yeah, there's something special about the elephant, though. I love how big they are, and even the small ones. Just I don't know. There's something about them. I find them special. I like them.
You know what? I didn't realize. Well, I didn't realize this last time when I was speaking. When you said the spirit animal was an elephant, but like elephants are very emotional, and they always like cling to their family. Like they're very like family oriented, and they're like they remember everything. So there's more to an elephant than just what meets the eye. So elephants are pretty kick ass.
Yeah, they're very loyal, very intelligent, and very their memory is incredible. I was watching a documentary on elephants, and they use the same path for generation to generation to migrate. And I thought that was like really intriguing.
Yeah. They're super cool. Yeah. A seahorse holds steady to breed no matter the tide, and the males are the ones who will get pregnant, not females. Thank you. Thank you for that.
That's always been fascinating to me that the seahorse is the one that gets pregnant. That is just crazy.
But yeah, the male does. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
And live long and prosper.
All right, ladies, we're at our hour. Thank you. I just want to thank Shelby for coming on as a guest. I want to thank everybody in the chat for showing up. We really appreciate it. I think our highest was like 26 at one time, 26 viewers. I want to thank all the mods for dropping links and being supportive. We love you, and we thank you so much for working so hard on that. And I hope you all stay healthy, happy, and safe. And those are my ending words. Anybody else wants to say anything?
I'd just like to thank Shelby for coming on board and doing this. Like, that's super cool of you. I know you didn't know us from squat, so I really appreciate you like showing up and doing this. I mean, we could have been really goofy, but I calmed down quite a bit. But yeah, so I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate you guys asking me. I mean, I'm very humbled because, like I said, I'm not really into this community yet. So it feels nice to be welcomed, and you know, we've been at it for a few years now, and finally like on our own property and stuff. So it just feels nice to kind of be included, and I really appreciate you guys asking me to do it.
Well, this is super cool.
It is. Boone, any last words?
Very nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to checking out your channel. I can't wait. And thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Courtney. And I'm thankful that my Wi-Fi is working today.
It's nice to meet you too.
All right, I'm going to end this live. Shelby, Boone, and Courtney, please stay on. We'll talk behind the scenes here in a second. But to everybody else, have a good night, and we'll see you soon.